Well, here we are outside Attingham Park. Would you believe it's February? Look at the weather, unbelievable. Just a quick follow-up video. Had quite a lot of positive response, so thanks to everybody who's looked at the first build diary video. This one will tell you a little bit more about the car. There's still some bits and bobs to do. Thought I'd start with the classic expanded view with all the different bonnets and doors open, and I'll show you around what we've been doing. I think you've probably seen a lot of this before, but I can give you a bit more detail about how the car runs now. The front clip obviously pops up. We've had some new headlight covers which Richard very kindly at Ultima sent me free of charge. Thanks, Richard. And those are very good. The inside here now clears the edge of the front wheels. You found before that on full lock the edge was just catching it slightly. There's no problems now with the new ones. Another thing we found with the front clip is the front wheels obviously aren't covered. The rear wheels have got the cover which comes down and across, which really protects the engine, I guess, from flying stones and dust and the like. We've got nothing on the front ones, and you do find there's a lot of stones get thrown into a little well below the cylinders for the reservoirs rather, for the clutch and the brake fluid. So it needs a little bit of cleaning out whenever you've had a run, and even on the run here, just a couple of miles, you find that you get a little collection of stones on the inside there. In terms of the engine, we've had no problems at all with the engine. American Speed, I think, did an excellent job. I think sometimes they get a bit of bad press, but apart from a few little problems in doing the valve lash, which is more my incompetence than a problem with the actual engine, it's run absolutely perfectly. Obviously bags of power. We're getting 642 on the dyno from American Speed, and it seems to be giving every single one of those. In terms of the tyres, the tyre wear, we've done 1,500 miles now. We've been giving it a fair bit of welly as well. The acceleration's a difficult thing to not do. You just want to put your foot down all the time in this thing. But there's still plenty of tread on them. It doesn't tend to give you a lot of wheel spin either. Notice going down the quarter of a mile strip, it was wheel spinning second and third, but on a dry road like today, the grip's there. If you look towards the back of the engine, obviously we've got the holes for the exhausts. What I have found is that, especially when you're cracking on a little bit, the exhaust does expand, and you find that the back of the pipes do poke through those holes by about an inch, which does actually make it quite difficult to get the rear clip open. I think you can probably solve that with having a slightly wider hole. I always find it's the left exhaust on this car, just because it's slightly out of alignment, so I think a little adjustment will solve that one. But again, no problems with the bodywork. Everything seems to be fitting together very well. In terms of the doors, what I've done is I still need to trim the inside of the doors. I still need to shave a tiny little bit off the edges as well. As you can probably see, I've been sort of hacking at it, trying to just get it a little bit of a smoother fit. But I've given it a few months of driving just to see how the doors, how they settle, and to see whether you can tell by the points that it's wearing on the bodywork which are the tight parts. So with the rear clip down, this is the view that most people will see when we go zooming past. Still not completely convinced about the wing or not, but I've ordered one anyway. I think it does help with the high-speed braking in particular. Not, of course, that we've been past 70 miles an hour on the UK roads, but I think on the high speed you certainly would benefit from the rear wing. I think most people on piston heads would tend to agree with that. Had to go this morning at putting on the sun visor as well, which surely needs a little bit of Fablon. Seems to be unsticking slightly, but I think I've got it the right size, so we'll glue that down later. So if you have a look at the inside of the car, in terms of the layout of the dash and the interior, I've followed pretty much Ultima's standard to the letter. I think probably with hindsight they may have done something a little more exotic, but it's simple, but I like it. Aluminium through the sides, needs a good polish. Fitted the carpet. That was a pig of a job getting through the section here. If we can zoom in on the camera, getting over the handbrake is actually quite a difficult job. Lots of patience and a few cans of Stella and you'll get there. I've gone for the 240 mile/hour speedo and the 8,000 RPM tacho. May need the tacho. I'm not quite sure whether I need the 240 speedo with the gearbox I've got, but hey, it looks great. We've got the four main white dials. which are the amps come through from the battery. We've got the oil pressure, we've got the temperature, which now with the new switch on the radiator doesn't tend to go above 1995, which is ideal. And we've got the fuel tank with the switchable switch for the right and left fuel tank. So it's set to the right at the moment, and tend to run the right down, so it gives you a little bit more balance when you're out of the car by yourself. That's the main starter button to start the engine. You need to put the key in first. The key goes in down there. It's next to the electric mirrors. And the engine tends to need a few good blips of the throttle first, just to get the petrol flowing through into the carburettor. In terms of the gears, we've just got a standard 5-speed H-gate box G50 Porsche, which runs out of gears 7,000 RPM. I think it's about 175, 180 miles an hour. And hopefully we'll see the top speed at Fighting Torque if we get invited to that sometime in August. Seats are superb. The Ultima seats don't tend to use the crotch straps, just the 4 points of the 6-point harness, side to side and over your shoulders. Lumbar support's very good, and that's just about the inside. Not an awful lot else to it. Some people put stereos in, and I know there's been some comments on piston heads about whether that's a good thing or not. Hey, you know, if you like listening to the stereo, then fine, but I do find the engine gives you enough to listen to. So with all the doors down, all the clips shut, this is what we've got. Wheels are a devil to clean. They tend to get a lot of mud around the individual bolts that hold the split rim together. There's 50 on each wheel, so 200 of the little things to get your fingers around. But small kids are great for those. If you've got the small kids, pay them a penny a nut and leave them to it. So that's the view of the car with all the doors shut, all the clips down. It is quite a small car. I thought when I first started to drive it, it was quite wide, and in actual fact it's not a lot wider than most modern cars. It's low, it's obviously purposeful. I think it's the most amazing looking car in the world. I'd say that obviously because I've bought one of the kits. But it does, especially when you have a day like today, it's all polished up. It gets a lot of attention, and it's good attention as well. It's not like you're driving around in you know, a Enzo Ferrari, as nice as they are. I think you probably get more people coming up asking what this is. I think it's also the fact that it is a kit car at the end of the day, a self-built supercar. And people, you know, do want to talk about how they built them, and you know, what they like to drive, and also the problems they've had. I think there's a great team of people on Piston Heads, and everybody seems to learn from each other. And heaven knows I've made enough mistakes during the build. Ultima put most of them right, I think. But there we go, video number 2.